Hello, my fellow YouTubers, how are you today? And today, it's the Nerd King, and I'm here to do my review of Digimon Adventure 1, also known as Digimon Season 1, the first ever Digimon series ever to come out. Now, you're probably wondering, why am I reviewing this DVD set? Well, for starters, Digimon has been my childhood show since I was 4 years old. Ever since then, I've been a massive fan of the show. I've been addicted to it. I've seen the new seasons. I've seen, Adventure Try, Appimon. I've seen almost all the seasons. I know a lot of the characters. I know a lot of the names of the Digimon characters, and I love it. Digimon is one of the best shows I have ever seen. Without this, I wouldn't be who I am today. I mean, look at the shirt. Look at the shirt. War Greymon, Male Greymon, and the entire Pokemon Evolution line. Oh, Digimon's a great show for me. And as I'm going into in about approximately 2 hours and a half, I'll be legally 21 years old. So since this is going to be my last moments as a 20-year-old, I might as well review something I like. So let's begin at the story, shall we? It all begins in a summer camp in Japan, where we find 7 young children are enjoying their nice camp time. We're given introductions to them. We have Tai, Matt, Sora, Joe, Mimi, Izzy, TK at the beginning. Kari, Tai's sister, will later join in. But at first, let's go into this story. At first, it's another summer day. They're just enjoying the nature life, enjoying everything. It's a great time, summer camp. But then suddenly out of nowhere, snow comes down. Proper snow, full-on snow comes down. And later, there's no reason to explain it. There's just snow coming down. And later, the kids they find a shack where they hide in for a while. A Japanese house, I think. Soon they come out to experience that playing the snow. But as they come out, they see a strange star there, a strange flowing star. And in that star shoots out 7 beams. These beams are, these special devices known as digivices. At first, the kids don't ordinarily have no clue what it means, since they probably think it's a Game Boy or something at the time. But then a massive wave comes out, dragging the kids through the portal, and we get to see all this cool matrixy light stuff happening. And then they soon wake up in this new world called the digital world, meet by these talking heads known as Digimon, short for digital monsters. And throughout their adventures, they fight evil, and have their Digimon develop and also learn something about themselves. The Digimon for the first 3 episodes, we learn the Digimon. The kids go through a certain episodes to learn for the Digimon to at least learn champion level, like Greymon and Garurumon. But then in later episodes, we are shown their first master threat, known as Devimon, who's under control of Fire Island. That he tricks the kids into a mansion and splits them up into different separate matches by actually breaking the island. Luckily, the kids mate up, and their 7th character, TK's Digimon Patamon, which evolves into Anshamon, who defeats the evil Devimon. But Devimon surprisingly doesn't show any resistance, telling them that, you may have killed me, but there's going to be people more powerful out there, more Digimon stronger. And boy, was he right. Fire Island, compared to some of the stuff the kids have to face in the future, Devimon didn't really seems like cheesecake. Later, the kids are thinking all is done, are shown that they need to go home now, are introduced to an old man known as Genai. Now, he could be human, he could be a Digimon, no one knows. However, he explained to them, the kids, that that there's still more evil in the digital world that needs to be saved. And to promote the kids into fighting the evil, he tells them of something called a crest and tag. Now, the crest and tag act like a second digivice by helping the Digimon digivolve further into their ultimate level. But in order to activate the crest, they need to show their crest's emotion. Throughout their journey, they do find the crests, but they meet up with a new villain known as Eltamon, also known as pretty much Monkey Elvis. There, the leader ties Digimon's first Digimon to Digivolve with the crest into Metal Greymon, where he defeats the evil Etamon. But unfortunately, Tai and Metal Greymon are drawn into a portal and are taken back to the human world. There we meet Kari, Tai's sister, and the eighth Digidestin of Light. There they have a bittersweet reunion, but realize that Tai has to go back to the human world, otherwise Digimon from the digital world will find a way to attack the real world. There we're shown just the next part of the story where Tai finds out that the group has actually split out to look for him. But unfortunately, by doing so, tensions have risen between them. This little horrible Digimon known as Devimon has been has been putting poison into the ear, making the kids become selfish, greedy, unkind, attributes that go against their quest's personalities. The reason they're doing this is because they don't want the quest to work, and if the kids reach a certain level of opposition to their quest's nature, then the quest will just stop working altogether. Luckily, Tai is able to meet up with TK and work with him, and later they meet Matt, Joe, Mimi, Izzy, and Sora, who all go through their emotional problems, but able to solve them to activate their quests. Later, we're shown Devimon's boss, Myotismon, this vampire-like monster Digimon, and he was a good villain. I think he was actually Digimon's signature villain for a while. I know he had the dog Masses and Apocalypsemon, but for the record, this guy was scary. He wanted to kill the Digidestin, and if he couldn't do it in the digital world, he went back home to kill them. The reason why is because Myotismon wanted to find the eighth child of life, Tai's sister, and kill her, so the Digidestin couldn't be completed in their mission. Luckily, the Digidestin were able to get home and find Kairi, whose partner Gotomon. At first, she was an anti-hero working with Myotismon, but later it was revealed Gotomon was actually Kairi's partner, who in return turned Digivolved into Anti-Woman after Wizardmon's death. Wizardmon was Gotomon's friend, and he was a good character. A lot of good characters died in the show. I mean, they do come back later, don't get me wrong, they do come back, but at the same time, there is going to be a sadness. But when Gotomon takes a revenge on Myotismon by killing him as Angel Woman, his beautiful female angel Digimon. But Myotismon had a backup plan, as he reveals his mega form, Venom Myotismon. There the kids find out that the ultimate level isn't the final level. In fact, it's actually second to final. The true final level is Mega level. And Tai and Matt try to take down Venom Myotismon with Metal Greymon and Rare Garurumon, but it fails, and the only way they can beat this dude is if they go Mega. Luckily, there's a prophecy telling them about two guardian angels, and in order for Agumon Gabumon to go Mega level, Angemon and Angelumon, TK's and Kairi's respected partners, have to shoot their brothers in order to activate Warp Digivolution. And I remember as a kid, I was shocked because, this could easily go the other way. I mean, you're throwing arrows at them. I mean, this is a very easy way for them to die. But luckily, a miracle happened, and they did Warp Digivolve into War Greymon and Metal Garurumon. Two awesome badasses. And they took down Venom Myotismon. But when they think all is fine and dandy, they find out that the digital world is in the sky, and they find out there's actually a time zone difference between the human world and the digital world. You see, they've been in the human world for 3 days, while 3 years have passed in the digital world. And so they realize that whoever their bad guys are in the digital world have done this mess, causing it to be in the sky. So to retaliate, the kids realize that their work in the digital world isn't done, and so they return to the digital world in order to fix things. They're introduced to the 4 dog masters: Metal Seedramon, Puppetmon, Machine Dramon, and Piedmon, the leader of the four. At first, at first they defeat Metal Seedramon on their first is the first Dark Master they beat thanks to Wargreymon Stramon destroyers. But unfortunately, it came at the cost of some friends' lives again. Again, a lot of people die in this show. And Puppet Mom decides to take advantage of this grief, trying to turn the Digidestin against each other by getting a tree Digimon known as Cherrymon to brainwash Matt and turn against the others, where we have Wargreymon and Metagroomon fight each other. But later this fight is interrupted by a light, explaining why the Digidestins are who they are and why they have been selected because um, because apparently when they were children, Greymon and Parrotmon, two champion level Digimon, had a fight in Japan where the Digidestined witnessed this fight. Those who witnessed became Digidestined and were linked to these partners. But unfortunately, Puppetmon's damage has been done. Matt feels like he still has some issues to resolve and leaves the group. And Joe and Mimi and Joe have enough of the fighting and decide to go their separate ways. So, but later they're able to defeat Puppetmon with Megarumon's help. At the same time, they're separated, and that's not good for the team because united we stand, divided we fall. Later, Later, they were able to defeat Machinedramon and Piedmon. And even though they defeated them and come back together, it's still no show. As apparently defeating them was also a bad thing, since they actually were the keys. Their defeats were keys to a much more evil Digimon known as Apocalypsemon, their final villain boss. There, the Digidestined are really faced with a challenge since Apocalypsemon destroys their crests and Digivices altogether. And they put the Digidestined and their partners in some kind of matrix limbo, ones and zeros. But then the Digidestined actually learned something about themselves, and they found out that power was inside them. The Digivices and the crests were just there to help with Digivolution. They really had the power, and with one final strike, they digivolved into their super forms, beat Apocalypsemon, and it's game over. And the Digidestined, now they just want to take a break with summer vacation, have a fun time, just enjoy themselves. But Genai comes and tells them they need to go home, since the time with this being fixed, meaning time between the human world and the digital world are soon they're going to have synchronized times. So the Digidestined have to leave, otherwise there's a high possibility they'll be trapped in the digital world forever. And after a tearful goodbye to their partners, they say their farewells and bid goodbye. And we get to see a nice leaving narration by Tai or a Japanese dub narrator while looking at an invisible train track. So, what do I think about Digimon Season 1? Well, for starters, let's talk about the Digimon. These guys are the aspects of the show. The main Digimon are Agumon, Gabumon, Biomon, Tentomon, Palmon, Gonamon, Patamon, and Gatomon. Agumon is a cool character. He's my favorite Digimon. I love Ogreymon. I think the fact is, I think the Digimon have been assigned to work oppositely to their partner. They have to be opposite to their partner. Let's take a few down. We have Gabumon. His partner's Matt, a shy loner type of dude who likes going by himself everywhere, who looks after his brother more than the other Digidestined. And while Gabumon himself is more like a shy character and tries to calm down everyone. And then we have Joe and Gonamon. Joe's kind of a worry cat, scaredy of everything, while Gonamon's a wisecracking CEO who tries to get Joe to lighten up. We have Kairi, a sweet, innocent kid, and we have Gotomon first, who was a striking, silent assassin who liked striking her opponents down, but eventually became careful and more protective of Kairi after learning her true nature in the world. The Digimon are an important factor in the Digidestined because not just because of their partners, but because they help the Digidestined Digivolve, as well as the Digidestined help the partners. You see, the Digidestined people, some people may criticize the crests, saying that why didn't they just install the crests in the Digimon beforehand so they can naturally Digivolve? Here's the thing: the Digidestined, the crests weren't mainly aimed at the Digimon. They were aimed at the Digidestined more so. It was to Digivolve the Digidestined, because if they showed out in through all the final battles with the same attitudes they had in the beginning of the arc, they would have been beaten, because they were all lacking that type of emotion, that true emotion they had, because they faced a problem where that emotion had become a problem for them, and by going through some effort, that the quest was able to advance the Digidestined themselves. But now, and that's what I like about the Digimon, they helped Digivolve the Digidestined. They made them more human, more acceptable, more open, able to overcome their fears in life. But now let's talk about the Digidestined. Let's go from lower to mains. We have Kairi Kamiya, um, Tai's older sister. She's a sweet girl. She's a lovely character. I love Kairi. I can see why she has the Digidestined of Light. She's just a calm kid. I mean, she does care about her brother, and she does have a love for Digimon. She does get upset when things go wrong, but her quest might be the most powerful out of the seven, or 11 if you count Kindness, Miracles, and Destiny in season 2, but that's another story. She is a sweet character, and she's just very lovely. I think it's very hard to hate her. I just want to protect her when I see her. We have TK. What I like about TK is that he's not that deep a character like his brother, but he does try. I mean, he wants to grow up. He wants to. He's an optimist. He does see the best things in life, and that's what I like about his character. He's an optimist, and I think good on you, mate. And he, but there was but there have been, but despite that, he was always the last character whose Digimon was the last to Digivolve. Angemon, Magnum, Angemon, he was the last team member to have their Digimon Digivolve to their ace levels. But despite that, but despite that, his main moment was when Angemon died temporarily, and that scene crushed me. Just seeing Angemon saying, I am dying, but you don't have to worry. I'll come back for you. That scene stuck with me as a child. I mean, we all have a fear of death, but that hit TK hard. I mean, Digimon, if they die in the digital world, they become digital eggs. But if they die in the human world, they become like a ghost-like creature. But, I mean, sometimes I criticize Digimon and Dragon Ball Z because they make it look like life and death is easy, you just can come back. But that scene there just really showed how badly death can be. And it hit me when I was a kid, saying, this could happen. This is going to happen someday to me. But now we go to Joe. He's a worrywart who just wants to be a doctor so he can please his dad. Joe is like I guess the father figure of the group who tries to make sure everyone's in order, no one gets 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 in trouble. He has the quest of reliability, and at the same time, he wasn't exactly showing reliability being a worrywart. However, what made me respect his character a lot was that he was willing to be a man. He was willing to man up. Like there was times where he realized, there's no time for worrying. You have to be a man. You have to get stronger. You can't keep worrying about stuff. And that's what I liked about his character. He was willing to get. He was willing to stop gurgling and crumbling with his mouth. He was willing to go on, and I thought that was a good character as a leader. We have Mimi. At first, she's a spoiled princess who just worries about her manicures and whatnot. But we later learned that she's actually a deep character, and later in the series, we find out that she does get affected by things around her. I mean, these are kids, 11 years, 10 to 11-year-old kids, and they've seen things that could traumatize people. I mean, badly traumatize you, and they've seen monsters that will probably last in their nightmares forever. Devimon, Paimon, Apocalypsemon, Myotismon. These are bad characters, and she does get affected by it. But what makes a character good is that she's able to turn villains into good guys like Olgamon. She's willing to give him a chance, be nice to him, and in return he helps them. So she's a good character, and she did learn sincerity, and became a more open person, willing to stand up for what's right, like the others. Izzy, he's a fan favorite to a lot of characters. I like him. He's a smart aleck, but the problem was, depends on smarts, since he's trying to be force himself to be smart, not because he wants to, but try to force himself. The reason why is because at a younger age he found out that his parents were actually his uncle and aunt, and his real parents died in a car accident. And because of that, he's tried to alienate himself from the world with his computer. What made this journey good for him was because he had to open up to more people. Realized, and that's why I liked Tantamon, because he was the opposite of Izzy. He was a joker. He was nice. He just wanted Izzy to get on with things. And soon, later in the season, Izzy just let it out, explained that he understands what the severity of what has happened, and he just couldn't keep it anymore. He couldn't keep looking at his computer. When he talked to his adoptive parents, saying to them, "You're my parents. I love you." I really loved that scene because it showed that, because there's times when we bury ourselves and times when we can't keep burying ourselves. We need to let it out for our mental safety, for our health. And Izzy did that by opening up with friends and his family. And now we get to Sora, the Quest of Love. Sora, ever since I've been a kid, Sora's been my favorite female character. I love her. I love her a lot. Characters like Ahsoka, Korra, Batgirl, they don't have a candle to Sora as far as I'm concerned. I do like those characters, but Sora's my favorite. Whenever I see Sora's face, I feel at peace with myself. Joe's the father figure of the group. Well, I guess you could say Sora's the den mother. She looks out for the group. She makes sure everyone okay. She makes sure everyone is in line and has the proper fill of food. And I really like that of her character. She always tries to help people. She always talks to them, makes sure they're okay. However, it's revealed that she has her own personal problems. Her quest was the quest of love, but she felt like she had no proper love in her heart. The reason for that is because apparently she had a fight with her mother about going to a football game. The reason her mother didn't want her to go was because Sora had damaged her leg in a previous match. And Sora despised her mother for it, saying she hated her and didn't want to do what she wanted. That was not the case. Her mother actually was concerned that Sora was in danger and could possibly even lose her leg in a football game. And Sora realized that she did love her mother, and that love allowed Beamon to digivolve to her ultimate level. And I think that's why I like Sora's character so much. She's a mother figure. She does care about other people. That's a person as a person I hope to achieve, trying to care for other people, look out for other people, and that's why I love her so much. She just is such a good character. She's wise. She does try to comfort people in their time of need. I think she's a great character. Now we go to Matt, the Digidestin of Friendship. Matt is your obvious loner. He's probably a fan favorite because of his loner attitudes, blonde hair, and he does care for his brother. But I think that's also been his character's weakness, that he's a loner and cares about his brother. Since the fact is, Matt's the quest of friendship. Like I said, the quests were there to digivolve the Digidestined themselves, not just the Digimon. There, Matt tries to do things himself, forcing himself to look after his brother, trying to be there for him. But when his brother showed signs of that he might be able to be independent on his own, this caused a whole stir in Matt, causing him to drift off from the group, thinking he wasn't needed anymore. You see, when Matt and TK were kids, their parents got divorced, and this kind of affected Matt mentally, and made him very protective of his brother, since the two of them never got to see each other most of the time. And I understand that, and because since TK was growing up, he realized Matt thought he wasn't needed. He and Ty would obviously get into fights about what should happen with the group and what shouldn't happen. But later we found out that Matt just really had security issues, and like the others, he did overcame them and learned to work with the others. He realized TK was growing up, and he was happy for him. He realized Ty wasn't a rival; he was his best friend, and they overcame their odds and teamed up together. And that's why I like Matt, because he was willing to forget his troubles and try to forge bonds with his friends and stop the loner attitude. Because frankly, people get sick of being lonely. You really get sick of it easily. And then we get to Ty. Ah, Ty. Ah, I love this character so much. Ty, this guy right here, he's my favorite main character of all. I put this guy above all my fictional main characters. I've tried to base my life after this guy. I know it sounds stupid, but I really love this character a lot. I mean, I'm wearing the shirt for goodness sake. Ty is the Digidestin of courage and the leader of the group who has most episodes. I know. But throughout these episodes, he starts like your classical cliche main character, spiky hair, a natural spiky hair, goggles, weird boots, and hyperactive. But we learn later that. But what I like about this character is that he does have his faults. Like he's the first Digidestin to get his crest, but by doing so, he tries to force Agumon to digivolve further, and and he tries to put himself in danger. By doing so, he causes Greymon to dark digivolve to this monster corrupted ultimate form known as Skull Greymon, which goes berserk for a while. There, Tai gets scared of Digivolution that Agumon could lose control again. But later, after realizing going for a text with Piximon, a Digimon Obi-Wan Kenobi, he learns that you need to grow up and learn from your mistakes in order to get better. And and so because of that, Agumon loses his fear of Digivolution and can digivolve normally. Later, Tai's cockiness does return when they learn that they are actually data clones of their original bodies, that their brain mentalities have been put into these data versions of themselves. There, Tai thinks he's immortal, thinking like the digital world's like a video game. And because of his recklessness, Sora gets captured by Datamon, prisoner of the pyramid. And Ty's is about to go through a force field, but Izzy tells them that because of their brain connection to their data bodies, that pain and death are the same thing as it would be in their real bodies. Meaning that if they die in the digital world, they die. And this causes a struggle in Ty learning that he could actually die, and he gets scared, of course. Later, he becomes determined to find Sora, and this is a scene where I really love Ty because he goes through the portal. He forgets he doesn't know which part of the gate is electrified or which part is safe to pass, but he still goes through and he saves his friend and is able to get Greymon to digivolve to Meta Greymon. Later, he's taken back to the human world where he has to make an ultimatum: go back to the digital world or stay in the human world. Like he goes back to the digital world because he realizes that his friends still need him. But what made this a sad thing is because he has to say goodbye to his sister Kyrie. You see, at the time, this first trip back to the human world was a freak of nature accident because of one of Edmund's blast. Ty had no idea that for all Ty knew, this could have been his last chance of being into the digital human world. If he goes back to the digital world, he may never come back to the human world. But he still makes a decision and still goes back to the digital world. And late in the Machine Dramon arc, Tai finds out that his sister Kyrie is sick. There, Tai becomes overprotective of Kyrie, trying to find medicine. And when Izzy gets something wrong, he literally goes berserk on him and rattles him. But the reason why is because it's more than overprotectiveness. We found out there was an incident when they were children that Tai When Tai had forced Kari to play a football game with her when she was ill, there she broke down and had a mental relapse. Tai was so shaken up to find out that his sister could have died, and that shook Tai for most of his life. And luckily they were able to get the medicine to Kari and fix her. But still, the reason why I respect Tai is because he does make up for his mistakes. I mean, like in the words of Iron Man 3, what makes a good person is a bad person trying to make up for their bad mistakes. And this is why I look up to Tai as a character, because he does make up for his mistakes. He does try to keep the group together and move on with them. And that's what I love about this character because of the confidence he has. The fact that he's able to have such a strong presence with the characters. That's why I think Ty's an amazing character. He's able to keep he's the heart of the group. I mean, when he left, they completely left into their own separate vocations, but he came back and brought them back together. And he knew what he had to do. Like, again, he could have stayed in the human world and let Agumon face the dangers by himself, but he decided to go back, not knowing if this could have been his only chance of being in the human world. And I love Tai, and for that he'll always be my favorite character. I love the digital world. It's a mixture of Alice in Wonderland, The Matrix, and Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park, we have giant monsters. Matrix is in the computer. Alice in Wonderland, just because of the randomness it has. But seriously, as I become 21 in a few hours, I want to give my respects to this season of Digimon. I like this. I love all the seasons, but season one will always have a place in my heart, just because of how epic it was, just because of the characters and the values they've taught me. I learn a lot from these characters, from their life lessons, from trying to move on with my life. And even if I become 50, I'll still love Digimon and shows like Power Rangers, Yu-Gi-Oh! Because even when you're growing up, it doesn't mean you have to forget. It doesn't mean you should just put a shelf these things. You should, if anything, you should understand why you like shows like these. It doesn't mean you have to put them on a shelf. It means that you can still adapt and actually learn from these shows as you're growing up, like Sesame Street, for example. So Digimon, thank you for helping me grow up. You've been a great help to me, and I will always love you. This is the Nerd King, and going digital.